Gachiakuta is fire. And the thing that makes it fire is how creative the power system is compared to so many other manga in years. Yeah, I said it. A good power system is easily one of the most important parts of a manga. If it's too complicated, you'll feel like you're reading a real book instead of a manga. And who wants that? But if it's too simple, every fight will feel like, ooh, me hit you harder, me win. It takes an exceptional manga to create a power system that's easy to understand and still fresh and unpredictable. But don't you worry, because the person who helped create Soul Eater and Fire Force, the one and only, the exceptional Kei Urana, decided to bless us with one of the most creative manga we have seen in forever. So today, I'm gonna show you what makes Gachiakuta's power system so good. And I'll even show you the 3 things it does better than almost every other power system. But first, I need to show you what happens in the first chapter because it's gonna blow your goddamn mind. This is the city. A beautiful place full of tall buildings, vibrant nature, and really happy people. And this is Rudo, a boy who steals trash to afford rent, runs away from people shooting him, and is forced to live in the slums because his dad was a criminal. Yay! But you know what? That's fine, because Rudo has an adoptive daddy. I wish I did not use that word. Recto adopted Rudo and raised him since he was a kid. He treats him with respect, he teaches him how to smile, or, and he takes care of the massive scars his parents left him before abandoning him. Did I mention Rudo's dad was a criminal? All in all, Recto is a really good guy, which means that Rudo has a really bright future ahead of him. Okay. That sucks, but it's okay because we saw the person who did this. They're definitely going to find who it is, and Rudo is going to get just— oh, no, they think he's the one who did it. Okay, but remember, the people of this city, they looked really happy and reliable, and I'm sure they're going to give him a chance. Okay, never mind, they throw him off a cliff.
This is the first chapter, and I'm already so stressed. Holy. So Rudo somehow survives the fall, and he's now in a place called the Abyss, which is where the people from the city throw their trash and their criminals.
And it's also a place full of huge man-hunting beasts. And this is exactly where the power system comes in. Check this out. Imagine you're a person living in the Abyss. Normally, when you feel emotions, your body reacts, or at least that's what someone told me. Okay, but seriously, maybe you're happy, so your body becomes hot and you want to smile. But because you're in the Abyss, your emotions also create an emotion called thought. And that sounds cool, until you realize that the giant trash monster who's running after you exists because of this thought energy. And obviously, you don't want to be eaten, I think, so you decide to fight. For some reason, all the potential weapons you get your hands on have 0 effect. And that's because thought energy can only be destroyed by thought energy. But here's the thing. You know how you have that thing that you always carry with you? Maybe it's your phone or a pair of shoes or anything else, but let's keep it simple and say it's a pair of shoes. Remember how your emotions create thought? Well, because you've taken care of your shoes for so long, they're now full of thought, and they transform into something called a jink. And here's the best part. Because you're passionate about running, maybe you watch it on TV, or maybe you like doing it yourself in your free time, whatever, your jinky shoes now give you super speed. Okay, so the power system is pretty cool in theory, but I promise you that what I'm going to show you now is going to prove to you that it stands out from so many other ones.
So the really important thing you need to know is that there are actually only a few people who can use the powers of a jinky, and these people are called givers. And what's so freaking cool is that you can tell so much about these givers just by looking at their jinky. Okay, check this out. Okay, so obviously I read ahead, so I know a lot about this character, but if I somehow try to erase that from my memory, just the fact that this dude has a Hamza hand tells us that he's maybe the type of guy who prays and wants to protect the people that are around him. And bam, that's exactly who he is. I am weirdly happy for someone who already knew this, but
Gachiakuta is a manga that creates a relationship between every character and the objects they use. And I really don't mean that in the nice, that's a cool sword, next kind of way. I genuinely don't think I've ever read a manga that made me want to stare at random objects for so long.
Okay, so this other character has a jinky umbrella, and look what happens if you zoom into it. Look at all the marks and the parts where it's broken, and I know this might seem like a tiny detail, but genuinely to me, it feels like an Easter egg.
Okay, I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but I'm the type of guy who will read 100 chapters in a day just to know what the story is and won't care about any of the other stuff. But here, I was reading this manga and reacting to every new jinky
God damn. God damn. God damn. God damn.
And in the beginning, I thought,
if the power system is good because someone's weapon just kind of makes sense with the character, and there are some cool details, I guess that's good. But, if someone likes hair and they use scissors as a jinky, are we really that surprised? Really?
But the truth is, there's a second part to the power system. Remember how your shoes made you fast? Well, It turns out that your shoes also look completely different now. Maybe you're someone who has a lot of energy, so your shoes have a little lightning symbol on them. Or maybe you love going to the beach, so your shoes become flip-flops. Congratulations, you are now the Flash with flip-flops and socks. But let me show you this amazing example from the manga.
Okay, so this character, Ryu, she has like 2 different personalities basically. In the beginning, she's really kind and caring and cute and stuff, but before she fights, you can kind of tell that there is like a dark side to her, and that's why when her scissors transform, they're black and white.
And it gets better and better.
And this dude has like a whole sort of panther vibe going on, so when his rings turn into claws, it looks really cool, but it also just makes so much sense.
Okay, but you are so not ready for this one.
This lady is a receptionist with glasses, and when her glasses transform, they become glasses. I never said that we're all good, okay?
I've never seen a power system that was so strongly linked to the characters of a story. In most other anime or manga, sure, the weapons and abilities can look completely different depending on the character who uses them. Except if it's a kunai, but we don't talk about those. But it feels so satisfying to see a new Jinki because you can't help but think, oh, kind of get it. And when it comes to our MC Rudo, he actually uses a bunch of different Jinki. And because he's so young, you can see that his growth as a person completely changes the way his Jinki looks. For example,
so Rudo takes the Hamza of this other character and uses it as his own Jinki. And when he draws out the power of this Jinki, he's like thinking about all the things that he knows about this character, right? And because he knows that this character has been praying for everyone's safety, it makes sense when this Jinki becomes this huge like octopus shield looking thing that can see everything that's happening.
It feels so awesome to follow Rudo on his journey because we get to see how his role models like Engine, Recto, and Gris changed the way his Jinki looks. And I personally found that to be one of the most inspiring parts of this manga. Having so many Jinki possibilities is one of the aspects that makes Gachiakuta's power system amazing. But the most important part of a power system is what it does when characters actually fight. So stay here because this is actually the part that Gachiakuta nails the most. At this point, you've probably noticed that the art of this manga is, dare I say, a feast for your eyes. But it becomes even better when you realize that the art looks completely different depending on the Jinki that someone uses. Check this out.
Okay, look at how thick and curved the lines are when Ryu is swinging the scissors. I really love that because you can actually feel the weight of the attacks and the weight of the Jinki.
I can tell you that the next example is definitely the coolest one so far.
So the guy that has the panther vibe and claws and whatever, when he fights, just look at the way the art changes. There's such a sense of speed when he's attacking. Like, look at this. Look at this. Where are your eyes, dude? Dude, just look at this panel. Can you see how straight the lines of the cuts are? I'm sorry. This is Gordon Ramsay level cutting because the author is cooking.
Whoa. Okay, dude. If the art style is different depending on the Jinki, this basically means the same thing as a technique that looks different from another technique. And every other manga does that. Actually, no. Every other manga ever does that. And that's true. But let me know what you think when you see what happens now.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 3 givers and 3 Jinki, and if you guess what the powers of the Jinki are, you can write it down in the comments that you nailed this challenge somehow, and you can vote on my next video, and I will do it. I will do it. So this is the panther guy and his claws. What do you think his ability is? If you guessed poison with one claw and healing with another, somehow you got it right. Congratulations. Okay, so what about the octopus eye thing? Okay. So the power of this thing is, if someone attacks you and they have the intention of hurting you, the octopus thing is going to prevent them from doing it. It's going to be literally impossible. But if someone attacks you and somehow doesn't have the intention of hurting you, somehow, it makes sense in the manga, they can't hurt you, and the shield won't do anything about it. If you somehow guess that one, you're the smartest person I know. Okay, what about the glasses? Tell me. They turn into a massive sword that creates fire and can destroy... I'm joking, they can see people better. That's it.
Let me use your shoes to explain. Remember how they turned you into the Flash? Now, what happens if you take these shoes and give them to another giver? Let's say someone who has an unhealthy obsession with caramel ice cream. Their power could be something like creating ice under their feet so they can slide like Todoroki or Frozone. I guess the reference you choose depends on if you're 16 or 60 like me. The power system is not, I really love my shoes I made for running, therefore my Jinki are shoes that make me run fast. Maybe you really like tying your shoelaces, so their transformation is a massive shoelace that you can use as a whip. Or maybe you just love how the shoes feel on your feet, so the transformation are these 2 massive pillow shoes that are the best thing you've ever felt on your face. It all depends on who you are as a person. Gachiakuta has so many amazing things going for it that it could have genuinely had a basic power system, and ta-da! masterpiece. And usually when I read manga, there's some kind of connection between characters, the art, the story, whatever, and the power system. But in Gachiakuta, the power system literally changes every single aspect of the manga. I have never read a manga with a power system that offers so many possibilities and is still easy to understand. And you know, maybe I'm a little dumb, so that's also on me. But don't get me wrong, I love stuff like chakra and quirks and whatnot, but these ideas always feel like something that doesn't really exist. Whereas a lot of you actually have objects that you love, objects that you value tremendously because you've had them for so long and gone through so many things with them. Maybe a computer that's taken you through countless gaming sessions. Maybe a really smooth pen you've had through middle school, high school, or even university. Or maybe it's something as simple as a pair of shoes that you've walked in the first time you did. Well, yeah, probably too many things to even remember. And obviously, they don't transform. But they're good at something, and the longer you take care of them, the longer they'll be good at this something. Gachiakuta shows that true value isn't about how useful or expensive an object is. It's about how much you care about it. So before you think about getting rid of these shoes, consider how they actually make you feel. And maybe consider offering them to someone who might love them as much as you once did. But if you wear flip-flops with socks, I swear to my